So here the Warriors have now won their first 7 games this postseason by an average of 15.1 points per game. It's on pace to be the best in a single postseason in NBA history. And no surprise, each of the previous 5 highest totals went on to win the finals. You heard Chauncey say this is the best team of the ones he's seen recently. And recapping here, game 1, Steph made Rudy Gobert look foolish. Couple of crossovers, the lay-in. Curry now gets Gobert to bite twice. Warriors win game 1, 106-94 the final. Game 2, Draymond, steal ahead. Iggy behind the back to Durant. Everybody gets a touch. Great passing by Iguodala, finding Durant, trailing for that dunk. Warriors take game 2, 115-104. And then tonight, game 3 in Salt Lake City. Kevin Durant playing, Kev, like you said, like the MVP he is, just went off late. Durant finishing with 38 points, 13 rebounds as the Warriors take a 3-0 series lead here on the Utah Jazz.
Stephen A. Smith joins us now. Stephen A. had an eye on this game as well as the big fight going on in Vegas, and we'll talk about that throughout the night with Stephen A. On a night, Stephen A., that the Jazz hold Steph and Clay relatively in check. They did not shoot it well, and Utah had something to do with that. You can't stop everybody. Is there a team in the NBA right now that can stop the Golden State Warriors?
Well, there's nobody that can stop them. You have some teams that can stay with them. I'm sorry, some teams. One team, that would be the Cleveland Cavaliers. The way that LeBron James is playing, the way he's able to control and dictate pace, the greatness that he's been putting on display throughout these playoffs, there's no doubt in my mind that he could have that kind of impact. And when you look at the Utah Jazz, this was a close game until midway through the fourth quarter where they both were in the 70s in terms of scoring. You neutralized the Golden State Warriors to that degree where Steph Curry shoots 6 of 20. Klay Thompson is shooting 1 of 9 from the field. Certainly Kevin Durant is a significant upgrade from what Harrison Barnes gave you last year, which is one of the reasons why they were salivating at just the thought of having him. But in the end, when you look at what Cleveland does, the way that LeBron James dictates and controls pace, plus puts the ball in the hole and facilitates for others to put the ball in the hole as well. Whether it's a J.R. Smith, it's a Kevin Love, it's a Kyrie Irving, it's a Kyle Korver. Certainly, you got a team that can really match wits and match an arsenal offensively with the Golden State Warriors. And that's exactly what it will take to beat them.
Stephen A., I want to ask you the same question that I asked Chauncey Billups. And again, don't mean to take the shine off of what the Warriors did in taking the 3-0 series lead here, but we saw Draymond Green with issues again with the officials. At some point in this postseason, is that going to come back to bite Golden State?
Well, it potentially can. If he finds himself pulling a Kelly Oubre and getting himself ejected for a particular game, it could definitely cost him. Getting himself suspended for a particular game, it can definitely cost him. Now, it was the accumulation of flagrant fouls that ultimately doomed him for Game 5 of last year's NBA Finals. But as Kelly Oubre at the Washington Wizards showed just the other night, one stupid, idiotic move can end up costing you a particular game because you could end up getting yourself suspended. And it's something that Draymond Green simply has to watch out for. I've spoken to him about it. Contemporary has spoken to him about it. Other pundits have spoken to him about it. Teammates and coaches have spoken to him about it. At some point in time, he's going to have to recognize his importance. And if you wanted a piece of advice, I've got a perfect piece of advice you can give Draymond Green to sort of alleviate these concerns. Take highlights of last year's Game 5 when the Golden State Warriors were up 3-1 and could have easily closed out this situation in the NBA Finals and captured a second consecutive NBA crown. Watch the Cleveland Cavaliers win that basketball game with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James doing damage, and Draymond Green was nowhere to be found because he was suspended for the game. And then simply show this guy who's a highly intelligent, not just a highly competitive and highly skilled basketball player, but highly intelligent. Ask him the simple question. Do you want to put us in this position again where you potentially end up costing us a championship because you can't control your emotions? I guarantee you that the Draymond Green that I know, that Tom Izzo raves about at every turn, that his contemporaries and teammates rave about, will check himself because he'll recognize the championship is on the line. But until that moment in time, he doesn't really have anything to worry about because let's be real about this. If he were going against the Cleveland Cavaliers, chances are he will put himself in check. They're not worried about the Utah Jazz any more than they were worried about the Portland Trail Blazers or anybody else in the Western Conference. That's why you see him acting this way, because he knows that the Golden State Warriors don't have much to worry about right now.
Stephen A., we're going to let you get the popcorn on right now. The fighters are making their way into the ring right now in Vegas. The Canelo Alvarez, Julio Cesar
All right,
Chavez.
I gotta go. See you later.
We'll see you later at Sports Center.
Thank you. All right.
He'll be missing. We'll see him in a bit. But all the talk tonight right now about Durant. He led this team in scoring in the regular season, stepped up big again tonight, double-double, 38 and 13, putting the Jazz in a 3-0 hole. Here new on SportsCenter, Utah head coach Quinn Snyder talking about the Warriors and that late run.
You can search for answers, and often the answers were right in front of our bench, and those were two great players. And that's not to concede anything. You know, I don't think that was our mindset, but it's just what happened. And you keep grinding. They don't make those shots all the time, but they make them a lot of times. And that's, again, why they're who they are, and that's why this team is such a good team and so difficult to beat.
Especially when they're playing like they are. And Kevin Durant, I mentioned, led the team in scoring during the regular season, and he just knows how to turn it on when he needs to. These last 2 games, playing like an MVP.
Utah playing without George Hill. And again, what's lost in all this is that the Jazz have played pretty well. I mean, they were in Game 2. They were in Game 3 tonight, and it's just got to be decimating when you look at the stat sheet at the end of the game and you see that you held Klay Thompson and Steph Curry to 7 of 29 shooting, and you still lose by double digits. Here they are in a 3-0 hole. No team in NBA history has climbed out of that. Jazz will try to do that Game 4 on Monday. Stars ahead, everybody from this game on the other side. Stay with us.